Hey everyone,
Hello.
we're doing a Blake 7 Q&A vid. We've had loads of stuff.
Absolutely, yes.
It's been about 2 weeks now since you'd have seen the finale, I reckon, something like that-ish. Hope you all enjoyed that, and the rock cover, if you've not heard that as well. I think that's pretty good. I think you'll go check that out.
Yeah, it is. I can second that.
Well, I'd finished that well before we even started Series 4.
Yes, yeah, even before then you were thinking, oh, I had this little idea,
Yeah.
to make a cover of the theme.
Before I even knew the theme was going to sort of change.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway.
now there's 3 versions because there's not a lot of Blake 7 covers. It's not something that people do.
I've not seen that many. I've seen a few, like mostly like piano, or there's a pop one, I believe, or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So before we get started with the questions, I thought we'd just do a quick dive into our scores. I will try and publish these somewhere for you guys to have a look at, maybe on a
Okay.
Google Drive or something. So we've got the averages for the season here,
Yes.
and this is in no way representative of how we necessarily feel about them as a season. This is just average for the episodes.
Yeah, this is just taking the scores we've given each episode and like averaging them out.
Yeah,
So, yeah, but it doesn't mean everything.
exactly. So for season 1, you put 6.2 and I put 6.4.
Yep, that sounds about right, I think.
For season 2, I put 7. You put 7.1. I put 7.3.
Yeah, now that season had Gambit, which we both gave
Had
it.
Gambit, had Redemption, had
Yeah.
had Star 1. It had
Oh,
others
Pressure
as well.
Point.
Pressure Point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Loads of good stuff in there.
Definitely.
Season 3, you gave 6.5. I gave 6.6.
That's
That's surprising to me, because
But-
I'd have put it in higher than that. In my head, it's higher than that.
yeah, but because of a couple of low episodes,
Possibly, yeah.
it kind of brings it down.
In season 4, you gave 6.7. I gave 6.8.
Again, a 1 point difference.
Yeah, but I'm consistently ever so slightly higher.
Yes, there are some episodes that you may have given higher than me. So, that makes sense looking at it. Just thinking back to some of the ones.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I guess the only stories that I think we gave 10 were Gambit. We both gave that a 10.
Yes.
And I'm suspecting, if we can have a look, that our lowest is probably going to be that one in season 4. Power, was it?
Power and Moloch.
Power and Moloch.
I think we
both
gave the same for that.
2s for both of those.
Yeah, so that's... Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you have even just 1 or 2 episodes that you rate particularly low, it does bring the season down.
Yeah.
Like,
So what in season 3 was it then that brought that down?
Moloch.
Oh yeah, of course. Such a shame.
I just don't know what it was, is my review.
Alright, let's jump into some questions then.
Yes, here we go.
So I've tried to group these logically-ish. To start off with, what were the initial motivations to watch and react to Blake 7? Do you want to go first?
Right, so for me anyway, it was it being mentioned a lot. As we were watching classic Doctor Who, there'd be people commenting and you mentioning, like, oh, this actor was also in Blake 7 and this person was known for Blake 7.
This actor being Colin Baker and
Colin Baker and Paul Darrow.
Paul Darrow.
I'm sure there's a couple of other things as well. But yeah, after some time I just got interested in the show itself. Like, what's it like? Is it, it seems to be a fairly popular one and kind of similar to Doctor Who, but it is different enough that it's its own thing, obviously. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun to watch a show that has a bit of that link, but isn't Doctor Who.
Yeah, okay, cool. For me, actually, I'd heard of it before even that.
Right.
Because it's something that our dad brought up quite a lot as a show that he watched when he was younger.
Okay.
And being on at the same time, being very similar to Doctor Who in its production. I knew that a lot of the same crew worked on it.
Yes.
I guess this is kind of linking into this question. Did you have any biases coming in? Yes. Yes, I did.
Well, I guess in terms of Doctor Who.
Yes, exactly. So I knew
Right.
it was very similar to that. I knew that I kind of expecting it almost to be a classic Doctor Who crossover with Star Trek. Not crossover, but you know what I mean.
That type
that
of show.
tone. Like if the crew of Doctor Who tried to make Star Trek on the BBC with similar cast and crew, that was my sort of preconceived notion of what it might be like.
Okay. Yeah, aside from that, I don't really know if I had any biases, other than that it might be like Doctor Who. I was just open to see what the show was like, by itself,
I knew it was going to be space opera-ish, and it kind of is.
Yes, that was something for you that you picked up on.
Having not seen Star Trek, I don't know how similar to Star Trek it actually is. I know we've had loads of comments saying, "Oh, Star Trek did this afterwards."
Yes, yeah.
So it must be quite similar.
I mean, I've seen a little bit of it, not enough to really know the show inside out, but it's. I mean, the general idea of this. This crew travels through space. That's kind of similar, but I'd say that 7 is definitely more of its own thing. It's not. I don't know if I would say it is just Star Trek.
No,
BBC.
Absolutely not. Well, I don't know. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, definitely has the classic Doctor Who vibes, though. I think that's evident.
Yeah, it does. But I'd say technically it sometimes feels like it has more of a budget.
Really? Than classic Doctor Who?
At times.
Interesting.
They use less green screen in this one. It's more. Yeah, there tends to be a bit more practical stuff in it.
Yeah. I'd not even thought of that. I wonder how the budgets did compare and how they used them differently for the different format. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Okay, next.
Yeah, there you go.
How did the show compare with your initial expectations, or did the show meet or exceed your expectations?
Yeah, I will say, I mean, my expectations weren't low or high. Yeah, so I think because of that, I'd say they were surpassed.
Okay.
Yeah, I did enjoy the show quite a lot. Yeah, I think I was really surprised with it. I think the characters probably played a big part in that, and some of the story aspects and some of the more unique kind of daring episodes. Yeah, I definitely, especially as the show went on, from season 1A, and as we got more into it, there was definitely a lot that surprised me in a good way.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Definitely to start with, it was kind of exactly what I expected, in a way.
Right.
That series 1 was this just feels Doctor Who, some Star Trek stuff. And definitely series 2 really picked up, I think, for me, and that's where it kind of did start to surpass my expectation. I don't know, maybe it was the expectation set by series 1 as well, that when it did change in series 2, I was like, oh, this is so much better.
Yeah. And of course, every episode in series 1 was written by Terry Nation, so there wasn't much room for variety in that sense.
Exactly.
It was a similar style each time.
Yeah. Who would you say, so we've got a few similar, who's your favourite character?
Right.
What guest character was the most memorable? Least favourite episode, season, writer? We got a lot of these types of questions. So, favourite and least favourite episode.
Favourite episode is Gambit.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, there wasn't. Yeah. Least favourite is I can't decide between Moloch and Power.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both. I don't know which one I dislike the most.
Okay, between those two, though.
It's between those two.
I think it's definitely Power for me. Right. Even though I did give them the same score, Power actually made me really upset.
Yes, it did. Yeah, you didn't like... Yeah, you did not like it at all. Yeah.
Favourite and least favourite season?
This was a tough one to think about, because most of the seasons I would consider quite close to each other, but I think maybe just about season 3.
Okay,
possibly?
Yeah, interesting.
That has a lot of the most memorable episodes to me, the ones that kind of stood out the most.
Yeah.
You have Sarcophagus, Ultraworld, Death Watch, those are the ones I always think back to, but also season 4 has those kinds of episodes as well. So it's I think for me,
the season 3 episodes are a lot more character driven.
Yes, that's it.
And that's really interesting. I think you maybe latch onto that a bit. Some of the Callie episodes, the Villa episode, City at the Edge of the World.
Yeah,
Death Watch, really focusing in on Del Tarrant and Dieter Tarrant.
Yeah, I think that's what I yeah, that is part of what I liked about them. Yeah, it's definitely there was more of a character focus. There were some of the most unique, creative stories, which, you know, some of the other seasons had as well, but 3 in particular, I think I maybe gravitate more towards.
Cool.
So yeah, I'd probably say 3 just about, but 4 and 2 are not far behind.
And least favourite?
Is 1.
Is 1, okay.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you there. Season 1 is definitely my least favourite, but I'm going to stick with Season 2 as per my score as my favourite.
Yeah.
Just because I think the through line is really, really strong. We do have some great individual episodes. It starts off huge and ends huge, and there's only really like 1 weak episode for me, which is Weapon.
Yeah, okay.
I think everything else is really strong in that season.
Sure, fair enough.
Yeah, love Season 2.
Yeah, I can definitely see why. Yeah.
Favourite, least favourite writer?
Okay, so least favourite is Ben Steed.
Same.
That's, that's how it works out. And favourite, again, another torn one. I'm thinking between Kenneth Lee and Robert Holmes.
Right, okay.
Because obviously Robert Holmes wrote Gambit, but Kenneth Lee, again, just some of the most striking episodes.
Absolutely.
You know, like, when I really think of the episodes that, like, you know, really took the show to, like, different heights and really took risks and things like that, and
absolutely
had some great stories, it's the 2 that Kenneth wrote.
You're absolutely right. I didn't put Kenneth Lee.
No?
I did put Robert Holmes, though.
Okay.
Kenneth Lee was very close second, but it's just the second half of Sarcophagus. I can't let it go, unfortunately.
Yeah,
and actually, looking at the episodes that Bob Holmes wrote apart from Gambit, they're so good as well.
They are.
Traitor, Orbit, and there was one other one. Killer.
Yes. Yeah, again...
Really, really good episodes.
Again, for me, Robert Holmes is definitely either second or joint first. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Kenneth write more, because the ones she did were absolutely
I would love to
great.
have seen her write more television. I'm definitely going to try and get some of her books, if they're anything like that.
Yeah, like, I'm like, yeah, like her episodes, I think, at least Sand, anyway, could work as its own thing.
Yeah.
You know, just like as an individual
movie
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, do you even need to watch Blake 7 to appreciate those episodes?
Absolutely. Well, I don't think... Sand, maybe, because it's the Surfland history.
Yeah,
but you could very easily rewrite that and make that something
the potential
huge.
is
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Yeah, whereas...
and Sarcophagus, even, I reckon.
Yeah.
I know it's only 50 minutes, but you could expand that out quite easily, I think, into an hour and a half movie where you introduce this crew, they're on this spaceship, and then... Because obviously that doesn't introduce the crew, you kind of already know them, which is very helpful with all of the different colours that they're wearing. And
oh, yeah. Yeah.
But if you maybe added on 15 minutes at the start to introduce your crew, then started with all of that stuff, I think it would be a fantastic movie.
Sure.
And same with Sand, you could do something similar.
Yeah.
Okay. Favourite and least favourite regular character?
Okay, so regular character being the ones that turn up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favourite recurring character is Avon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably Avon. I mean, for me, a lot of it is Paul Darrow's performance.
Right.
I think it's absolutely just... Yeah, it's constantly brilliant. It's always just captivating to, like...
Yeah.
Just see him on screen. The character is just always really intriguing. There's always something going on with him.
He's so dramatic.
Yeah, he's dramatic, and he's funny as well. The dry humour is just... Yeah, that's my kind of thing. That's perfect for me. And definitely towards the end of the show. So I think, and that really was like the draw to especially like series 4.
Cool. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of depth to that performance.
Yes.
I will say.
Yeah. Least favourite recurring character is Travis. If I can say Travis. I mean, I really like Stephen Greif's performance. Yeah, we just found that out. Ultimately, the character doesn't amount to too much. We often called him useless. Kind of fell by the wayside to Servalan, which, fair enough. And the cast change didn't help.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, there's not a recurring character that I 100% think is, like, a bad, like, fully bad character, because, again, Travis does have his moments, but when just putting them all together, I think he probably comes out of this.
Okay, interesting. Mine are completely different.
Go on.
My favourite, I put down Callie.
Okay.
I think because she was the most unique of the crew.
Sure.
And she had this ability to really connect with other people. And I loved some of my favourite episodes were the ones that she was the focus of.
Yeah.
I just think her personality, she was the most unique. She just stood out to me. I thought, what's the actor called?
Jan Chappell.
Jan Chappell was superb.
Right.
Again, I think there was loads of depth to her performance there. And I think it could have even actually been better than that. I think she had potential, on top of being my favourite, to being actually a standout character in television.
Yeah. Maybe she would have had more episodes like dedicated to her.
Yeah, if she stayed on for a fourth series, I know the actor probably didn't want to do that, and that actually brings me very, very neatly onto my least favourite regular character, Sulin.
Right. Okay.
Who is Kelly's replacement.
Yeah.
I think that may be part of it. I just don't think she had a character other than was quite good with a gun. Even Travis, for me, whilst, everything you said is true, he actually had a character, kind of. He had something to him. He was there for a purpose, and even though he was useless, that was part of his charm, in a way.
Okay, right. I will say that this might tie into a future question, but Sulin is like the next one for me.
Right, okay, I just think, I'm sure Glynis Barbara's great. She didn't do anything. Her homeworld was Galda Prime. Right at the end, that last planet. Didn't explore that at all. Did she?
No.
Why?
No, we didn't.
Which is why, Children of Aron, not my favourite episode ever, but I love, again, the focus on Callie, and it was I love just seeing those things.
Right.
Anyway. So
okay,
for me. And I think that's really interesting, because definitely at the start it wasn't. It was definitely Gan until Gan was killed.
Your favourite?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with, like, recurring, is I wasn't, because some characters were on for longer than others, so I wasn't sure, like... Yeah, I think, because, like, Sulin is only in the last season, so it's, like how much of a mainstay is she in the show to consider her, like, a fully recurring, even though she is in almost every episode of the last season.
She is in every episode.
Oh yeah, she's in Power as well. Yeah, right at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but still, the same point kind of stands, I guess. Yeah.
But it shouldn't need to take a season for you to know a character. It should take one episode. We've just finished Doctor Who Series 4 yesterday, and we're not saying, man, I really don't know who Donna is as a person. We absolutely know. We knew after one episode.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I get your point, actually. I think I agree with what you're saying.
Even Dana's introductory episode was so much better.
That was great.
Favourite and least favourite guest character. This one I struggled with.
Guest character. Well, I saw this as just...
someone who's just there for one episode.
Yes. For me, I always thought of Crantor from Aubrey Woods.
Oh, cool! Gambit. Yeah.
I'm mentioning Gambit a lot, in case you hadn't noticed. Yeah, he's just a fantastic character. So exaggerated and so, like, comical. But it's just, and the actual performance of it is, like, great for that. And the design as well.
I would love to see Gambit in the theatre.
You know what? It could work. It could work as a... Yeah, absolutely. I didn't think of that before. Gambit live.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be so much fun.
Let's get that. Yeah. I guess some honourable mentions as well. Kevin Stoney.
Yeah.
But that was mostly because of the casting. Yeah, Babin the Butcher, another great one.
That's who I put.
I
put Colin Baker. Had
enough.
to.
Fair
That wasn't a choice for me. And your least favourite guest character?
Least favourite guest character, Moloch.
Okay.
Does Moloch count? If Moloch counts, then that. Because
I don't know who the actor is. Oh no, it was
It was a puppet
No, it wasn't a puppet.
or something.
It was what's his face? The guy that plays all the Oompa Loompas and was also in Gambit.
Deep Roy.
Yeah, I think it was Deep Roy. Interestingly, also put down a character from Moloch, but I didn't put down
Moloch itself.
Moloch itself. I put down, I think it was this episode, the guy that looked like Terry Scott. Was that Moloch? Or was that Power?
No, it was Moloch.
That was Moloch. I thought he was awful. Anyway, that's just... I found that a really tricky one. Because if they're a bad guest cast, you're not going to remember them. Like, there's so many of them.
Yeah, it was hard to think.
But I remember being particularly weirded out by him and not liking that guy. Finally, score. This is music, right?
Okay. That's how I saw it.
Favourite and least favourite music score?
I honestly struggle to think.
Yeah.
Because while I liked the score pretty much almost all the time, there wasn't any... I couldn't really think of any particular one that stood out.
Okay.
As being my favourite.
Yeah, sure. I think there's been some great ones. The one that I remember most is Mission to Destiny. With the brooding cello of the mystery. I really liked that one. That's the one that stands out, and I'm sure we've had others as well. Yeah. Sarcophagus has a really great one.
Oh, sure. Well, one musical element I do like thinking about now is the teleportation.
Dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun, dun.
all of
Brilliant!
those.
I love that. That's perfect.
All of those. So if that counts as score, then that may be my answer.
Yes, it does.
Okay, then.
How would you rank the 4 seasons? Summer, winter, no.
I had put 3, 4, 2, 1 as being favourite to least. We have already talked a little bit about why, but I can do it again if you like.
No, I don't think we need to. I think we've covered that. I put 2, 3, 4, 1.
Yeah. So you've moved 2 way up at the top.
Yeah, I just jumped 2 to the front there.
Again, the 3, 4, and 2 are pretty close.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's like I like them all, but this one, is a little bit more than that. But 1 is definitely at the bottom for me.
And then series 1 and 2 versus series 3 and 4. If you had to group them together as 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4.
Right.
Well, judging the fact that 3 and 4 are your top 2,
so yeah,
I think you would take that one. For me, it's a little trickier, because I loved series 2 is my favourite, 1 is my least favourite, and 3 and 4 in the middle. But I think I would go with 3 and 4, actually,
right.
Because I think there's a more diverse range of stories in there.
Definitely.
It's a lot more character driven. There's a lot more of the daringness. I think it's higher on average. I think.
Yeah.
Because series 1, unfortunately, is just by quite a bit. Just my least favourite.
Average. I will say that when I think of Blake 7, it is 3 and 4 that I really think about. Like that has a lot of what I like about.
They are the most recent as well.
Yeah. But also, that first season, did take some time.
And that's interesting. That's the 2 without Blake in them, really.
Yeah, that is really true. I mean, maybe if I went back to the first 2 and found more things in them, maybe then I'd have a different perspective. But at this point, 3 and 4 definitely are the standouts to me.
Does the series ultimately benefit from this 4th season, or was Terry Nation's quiet closure with Callie still around and no crazy Avon a better send-off?
Okay, so I have given this some thought, and I think...
In case you couldn't tell, we pre-prepared a lot of these answers, just in the interests of time.
It kind of depends on whether or not you prefer, like, positive outcomes and endings.
Right.
Because, Series 3 ends, they find Blake, and they pretty much defeat Silverman, as far as they know. So, if you're happy with that, then maybe there didn't need to be more. But other than that, I do think that Series 4 introduces a lot of really interesting stuff, and specifically focuses on the survival aspect and how the characters are willing to put their life on the line for defeating the Federation. I think, and I think in a way Callie's death is like a there's like a foreshadowing of that, and just it's interesting to see how Avon kind of descends into that craziness. I think that adds another dimension to it. Also, a comment was we went through comments and somebody mentioned the Wild Bunch, and I did a little bit of research, looked on the Wikipedia, and it said how the last episode was inspired by like these westerns, like Wild Bunch and Butch Cassidy, which makes perfect sense because they're both about outlaws trying to survive in like a changing world. Yeah, it shows like the kind of their fragility and, you know, the worth of violence in the world and how it actually like the wastefulness of it. So I think that's kind of the influence of like Seven. So I think the full season is pretty interesting in that way, and I think I appreciate it having it around in that way.
Okay, yeah, sure. I think I agree with a lot of that. It's definitely a better episode to end on than Terminal.
Yes, it's again the more daring ending.
Yeah, and yeah, Series 4 really gave us some great episodes. It gave us more of a chance to go into Dana's character and Del Tarrant's character as well. I think if we'd ended on Season 3, I probably wouldn't have liked Del Tarrant. He may have been my least favourite.
That's true.
But actually, throughout Series 4, he really grew on me quite a lot. And Dana did as well. I like Dana anyway, but it was great to get more of them. And if we'd ended on Terminal, do you think the show... I don't think the show would have been as talked about as it is now.
Yeah.
That ending is, I think, part of the reason people must still talk about it. I mean, it's great anyway, but that Terminal ending isn't quite as you say, daring.
It's a neat ending.
Yeah.
But that isn't always the most memorable.
Exactly. Would it have the legacy that it does?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like it in a way it ties it all up nicely, and it's very like you say, neat.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I did think that perhaps the Serverland storyline was dragged out unnecessarily.
Sure. Yeah, the fact that we thought she may be dead, but then she comes back.
Yeah, and there's a lot of reasons that ending it there would have worked. Like you say, it's neat. It's an ending to that storyline. We don't have Callie. That really upset me as well in episode 1.
Yeah.
And there are some bad episodes in we really didn't need power.
But ultimately,
the world would have been. Yes, I think that there's it works both, but I think ultimately, yes, it's beneficial to have that 4th season there.
Yeah, it definitely adds more to the show, I think. So,
what was the biggest surprise or shock moment for you?
The biggest shock, either the cliffhanger to Aurak, when the Liberator is shown exploding and they just end it there. And
that was the prediction, right?
Yeah,
that wasn't. That wasn't.
Did everyone just die?
What a way to end the season!
This is the first season, and so bringing up the idea already that everyone dies right at the end of it, and then just leaving it at that.
Yeah,
I couldn't handle that. Yeah, such a turn I didn't expect. So I was just like, I think I literally said, what a way to end.
Especially in an episode like Aurak, which is very kind of slow and boring.
Like, you're not building up to it.
No.
Yeah, which makes it even more, even more of a surprise than, like, the end of Star 1.
Sure.
Because at least that's building to something, kind of.
With Star 1, for me, that episode, I remember it so clearly, it went by so quickly. I thought we were going to get a battle in that episode. I thought, okay, we're going to get a war now, and the episode ended, and I was like, that was not 50 minutes.
No!
Because it felt like maybe 30 to me. It just went by so quickly. I just remember thinking that.
Right.
I put actually Gan dying in Pressure Point.
Sure. No. What? No. Oh my word.
With that cliffhanger, it was a shock, but also I was well aware that was a cliffhanger and that we also had a few more seasons. I was like, okay, this isn't like this is a prediction. There'll be a weird, clever thing. And it was a brilliant, actually, resolution. I loved Redemption. But for me, it was Gan dying, which was the first time we actually
The main character.
A main character dies, and it being my favourite one at the time as well.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, what else are they gonna do? Which is why I think jokingly throughout the show I thought, I bet everyone dies at the end. I think I probably said that a few times, not expecting it to really happen, of course.
Yeah.
But by that point, that kind of sets the scene for that stuff to happen in the future, and I think that's the one. That's the one that then sort of, it was shocking for that, but also for what they could also do later. Like they weren't afraid to do this kind of thing.
Yeah,
if they needed to.
Yeah, again, it ties it. Again, it sets up in a way the last season. Yeah. Even though they didn't know they were going to do it at the time, it actually works
out. What moment of the show stands out for you?
Moment. I mean, a lot of moments stand out, but one from season 3 that I really remember is in Children of Aaron. Right. When at the end everything's blown up and Servalan is completely just devastated by that, because she might have had like some kind of connection to the children, just seeing Servalan be completely just like broken down by that is just that really took me off guard and is kind of stuck with me. Yeah, you're so right.
I went a different route.
Okay.
I kind of put 2 Travis 2 moments.
Right.
The Travis 2's first scene in Weapon, where it's all operatic, and there's like smoke everywhere, and he's like shooting the clone Blake, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Who is this guy that looks like Travis that isn't Travis? And why is the real Servalan here? What is going on? This is mental.
Yes!
And that was the moment, I just think, I've never been more confused in my life.
Oh, wow.
Like, this moment just stands out to me as being, what am I watching? Why is this here? Have I died and gone to Blake's 7 heaven? Hell. I don't, what? Who is this? That's just a moment that stands out to me. And the other one is also the Travis 2 moment, where it's the Master-esque Travis 2 reveal, pulling the mask over. So silly, so ridiculous. Oh god, I love that moment. That was so dumb, but brilliant.
Yeah, I guess I view stood out as just like something that felt significant.
Yeah, no, that's the beauty of the question, is that we can do completely different kinds of things.
Yeah, there's all sorts we can talk about with Blake 7, really.
What was the most original sci-fi concept from this show for you? I put down a few things, because I thought there was a few.
I put 2 things.
Yeah.
The first being Ultraworld. Just the whole, the idea of it, that it's like a living planet, and just the ecosystem around it, and the way the way it's sustained, and the menials and all that. I thought that was a really interesting idea, and just loved seeing it be explored.
Okay, cool.
Just go around it. The other one is Death Watch, the spectator experience, like the immersive spectator, which is like, it kind of predicts virtual reality, and I just thought it was such an interesting concept, the fact that you can live the show in a way. I just remember being really just kind of blown away by that.
That's definitely what I considered, but interestingly, the 3 I've got aren't those.
No?
Which is brilliant, because there's so many of these clearly. I put the 2 Tennis League stories.
Right.
First of all, as sci-fi concepts. I think sand more so.
Right.
Just that idea of that sand that is like vampire sand. Again, could be movie. That's a movie idea right there, is that?
Sure, I wasn't... I guess that is a sci-fi concept.
Yeah.
Anyway, definitely. Cause
it's a low sci-fi. It's not like it's not high sci-fi.
I had considered that, but I didn't in the end, because I wasn't sure. Like,
perhaps it's not, because you could put that into a fantasy setting. All you need is a desert or some sand.
Yeah.
That's not. Yeah, you're right. That's not necessarily a sci-fi only concept. Interesting. I also put the killer cables in Redemption. When it's the altars, altars.
I can't remember.
Is that what they were? Like activate parts of the ship to fight against the crew.
I do remember that.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And Star 1, the I can't remember it exactly, but I remember really liking it. The idea that they've got all of this network of satellites out past the galaxy, stopping the Andromedans from
Ah.
coming through, and Travis has disabled that.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the Andromedan ships that are all like weird bits of junk kind of thing. I just love that
Sure.
concept of the Andromedans and the dark space and them hiding there.
Mm.
Really scary stuff, actually. Very Mass Effect, as I think I said at the time. Yeah, so those are the 3 I got.
Sure.
Interesting that we got 5 there. We got 5 great sci-fi concepts.
Yeah, there is some really good stuff in this.
Now diving into some sort of individual episodes. Now, what are your top 5 episodes individually?
Okay, so
I wonder how many of these we've got in common. I suspect we've got at least one in the
Well-
same place.
yeah. Right, so top 5, and this is from 5 to 1.
Okay.
Death Watch,
Oh, Snap!
Aftermath,
No.
Redemption,
Yes, Snap! In 3rd as well.
Sand,
Oh, no, okay.
and Gambit.
Yes, Snap again. So 5, 3 and 1, we've got the same. In
Yeah.
4th I put Sand instead
Right.
of 2nd.
Right.
And in 2nd I put Blake.
Yes, you ranked that you thought very, very highly.
Yeah, I did
Straight
also
away.
put in brackets there in 2nd place the first half an hour of Sarcophagus. But unfortunately, with the last 20 minutes, it doesn't make the top 5. Yeah, that's my top 5. Very similar, but also quite different as well.
Yeah.
Where do you rank Mission to Destiny in the general category of 1-hour TV mysteries? Now, before we start here, you're going to have a better answer than me.
Am I?
Yes, because I don't watch any TV mysteries. I don't know. This is like the one-hour TV mystery that I've watched.
Neither do I.
You watched Columbo?
Oh, does that? Oh, right. Okay, I saw it as like just things that last an hour. Like, if
We
okay,
can be
with,
vague about that.
Okay. I think I might prefer Columbo to Mission to Destiny.
Okay.
Mostly because of the character and I guess the more groundedness in reality. The fact that there's more, that it's more closely related to real life, I guess.
Yeah.
Mission to Destiny was good though. Again, that was a while ago, so I need to watch it again. But I think even then, I'd still probably say Columbo.
Sure.
I guess.
I remember it being very strong. I think that was one of my favourite episodes of that
It was.
season.
I remember you liking it. Yeah.
But I'm not familiar with TV mysteries.
Okay.
I think the only one that I would have seen is probably like if there's been a Doctor Who mystery like The Unicorn and the Wasp
Right.
or Robots of Death. Does that count? How does it fare among those? Well, I like those as well, so it's about par
Right.
with those, I suppose. Here's one we had to think about. If you were to write an episode or season, what would you do with it?
I don't know, because I do have ideas for both.
Go on.
So for episode, I like the idea of doing another, like, survival type episode, like Death Watch or Duel, but have it specifically focus on 2 characters. Like, we only see 2 characters, and it's about how they deal with the situation.
Right. So whereas in Duel they both have like the +1, where Blake has Jenna come along and Travis has the mutoid come along.
Yeah, there's like other people in it.
And in
there's
Death
like
Watch, they've got everybody watching and sort of interacting.
Yeah.
You just focus on 2 characters.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Which 2?
Well, this kind of ties in with my season 5 idea a little bit. So going with the theory that Villa faked his death.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something happens that prevents Avon from being killed by the Federation, and they basically spend either that episode or the whole season trying to escape from Gouda Prime, and because of what happened in orbit, there's that kind of conflict between them.
Villa and Avon.
Yeah, Villa and Avon.
They'd be fighting each other.
Yeah, they're fighting. Yeah, maybe at first they fight, but as along the way they have to work it out, because ultimately they're
on the same side.
Yeah, and of all the people that are not trustworthy, they're like the least not trustworthy.
You'd explore kind of the fallout of what happened in orbit more.
Yeah.
And make that almost the premise for the character development of a season.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, that's a really neat idea actually. So you went straight for season 5 there. I don't know if I necessarily. I don't think I would want to write a whole season.
Right.
Necessarily. Season 5, and we'll get onto this. But for my episode, I would do a bottle episode, and I would set it, I think, entirely like on the Liberator or the Scorpio, just really go into that paranoia, like explore the characters deep down, really like set them on edge against each other. In the same way as we had Midnight, which we watched recently.
Yes.
Or some of those Goodies episodes that do similar things. I think that would be a really interesting thing. Just really like put them in a confined space and turn them on each other. Sarcophagus did that a little bit. I'd like to really explore that. I think a lot more and really get under their skins. Really make them mad at each other.
Yeah, you're thinking like the whole team.
Yeah.
Are at each other. Okay.
Yeah.
I think my idea would have a little bit of that, but you really want to delve into that.
For all of them.
For every single
and not necessarily with a trigger. Like yours is a specific trigger of what happened in orbit. Mine could be like an outside force is doing this, like in Midnight again.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that would be mine. My one episode of Blake 7 that I would write.
Okay, yeah.
How would you have ended the series?
Honestly, I mean, I think the way it ends is already great.
I put that too.
How I felt like the series might end is directly involving Servalan more. It could be similar to how it does end, but maybe once again Servalan like actually brings them there. Yeah, really hammering it in that the Scorpio team have really just been like, there is no way out. It's basically a more obvious version of the actual ending,
right.
Like, which again may not necessarily be better, but that's another idea of how it could have ended the series, maybe.
Yeah, I think I suggested this at the time. Tarrant dying earlier, sacrificing himself on the Scorpio. I think that would have been effective, and then you could have used the rule of 3 towards the end when they're surrounded, because at that point you've only got the 4 crew. You've got Avon, Dana, Sulin, and Villa, and that way you can kill the 3 that aren't Avon, and then by the 4th it's Tarrant there, and you kind of know what's going to happen. Rule of 3, much more powerful there.
Okay, yeah.
If you look in our reaction, I did notice this. By the time it gets to Tarrant's death, we don't react to it because the 3 have already gone.
Yeah,
it's much more powerful to have 3.
Sure.
And Tarrant sacrificing himself earlier would have been more powerful for that character as well.
Yeah, we even said it was ready to mourn him.
Yeah,
then, obviously.
Exactly.
But then he does meet Blake.
But like I said, you can have another character do that. Sulin doesn't know what Blake looks like either.
Yeah.
I think Servalan appearing would be nice. I'm not sure I necessarily would want her throughout the episode, but I think we had a comment saying maybe she comes in at the end, which I liked that idea.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't even say anything. She just walks in when Avon is surrounded and like smiles or like looks disappointed, or she doesn't even have to have a line of dialogue. She just walks in.
Yeah,
and is like, I've done it, or is upset that she's defeated everyone. I don't know. I think both of those could work.
Yeah, and we've kind of talked about before the impact of having Servalan in almost every episode. Yeah. So maybe if she hadn't have been in as many episodes, her turning up at the end would have maybe meant more.
Yeah, possibly. So yeah, not actually too different to how it did end.
Yeah, because it's already such an impactful ending.
Yeah. How would you bring the programme back for a 5th series after that finale, and what might have happened in said series?
I've kind of already talked about this for my season idea. So yeah, focusing on Villa and Avon, they both survived the ending of that, and they escape from Gauda Prime, and they work out their conflict that happened from all of it.
What do they do after that?
After what?
Presumably the whole season doesn't end with them just shaking hands and...
Oh, no, yeah.
What else is there? There has to be some sort of storyline.
Yeah, well, perhaps in Gauda Prime they have all sorts of different encounters that put their trust in each other to the test.
Okay.
And maybe maybe there are some other interesting developments, like perhaps there are some other resistances against the Federation within Gauda Prime, if that's possible.
Right, okay. They introduced the idea that there's like gun runners on that planet.
Could do that, yeah.
Well, they did, but you could do something with that. So would the series maybe end with like them finally escaping together?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Yeah, possibly.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Just wouldn't?
I just would not bring back for a season 5. I'd do a different show.
Sure.
If I wanted to tell this sort of story in the same world, I hate the idea of prequels, but maybe I'd do a like the history of Avon with Anna Grant and explore him being in that group. Was he resistance fighters or something? Were they rebels or something?
I might.
I'd maybe explore that area.
Yeah, sure.
Go for what happened before.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. You didn't necessarily have to continue it,
No,
but just
I
a new thing of like 7.
Yeah.
That's a good idea as well. Definitely, that is definitely something I'd be interested in seeing. So yeah.